Hey everyone, it's Lottie. Today's video is the first in a brand new series of videos called Toddler Travel Tips. In these videos, I'll be sharing my quite extensive experience of traveling with a spirited and energetic 2 and now 3-year-old. I'll be including do's and don'ts, common pitfalls, and what you can do to ensure that your traveling experience with your little one is as smooth as possible. Today's video is all about how to pack your toddler's bag for a stress-free flight. I'm going to talk you through my advice as a mama who's now taken her toddler on quite a few trips, many of them long haul. The most recent one being our trip to New York City, which we went on a few weeks ago. There's going to be a travel vlog for that coming quite soon. So if you want to learn what to pack for a mostly stress-free flight with your toddler, keep watching. The first thing you need to do is to make sure you've chosen a carry-on bag for your toddler that fits in with your airline's specifications. You can find these on your booking email, also on your airline's website. They're usually quite well advertised, so stick with these specifications because the last thing you want is to find that at the airport you can't take the bag on board. We decided to buy Finn a Chunky. We bought him this a couple of years ago for our first flight. This is not sponsored by Chunky in any way. I'm just a really big fan. Chunkies are airline compliant, very robust, and your toddler can even ride along on it if they want to. This is useful because quite often when you get to a connecting airport, there'll be no pushchairs or prams available. So having something that's going to help bear the load of your very heavy toddler is always a useful thing. Okay, let's cover what to pack. Take a mix of new and old favourite toys with you. A new toy is going to keep your toddler occupied for far longer than even an existing favourite. My advice here is to keep your new toys hidden. Wrap them in a pillowcase or a muslin and keep them hidden away from the other toys so that you can whip this out at a high pressure situation. The novelty of a brand new toy is going to distract your toddler in times where they have to be sitting in their seat. So during boarding, during turbulence and during landing. Good toy suggestions include anything that's airline or plane themed, space themed, sticker activity books, fidget style toys and stickle bricks. We'll talk about what not to pack a little later on. Along the same lines, take a mix of old books and new books. Books that are around the theme of airplanes, airlines and space, again, are always good choices. Make sure that you choose books that you don't mind reading over and over again because this will happen. So choose something that you're interested in too and be prepared to sit with your toddler for long periods of time reading to them while you're on the flight. A big benefit of choosing books that are airline and airport themed is that it helps your toddler stay in the know with what's going on. If they know how a plane works, if they know what a plane looks like and inside and what an airport looks like and how it works, they're more likely to be relaxed about the whole experience and you're going to have a much more positive experience on the day. Take a couple of changes of clothes at least, along with nappies, wipes, anything that you're going to need to keep your toddler relatively clean when they reach their destination. They are going to get dirty, rolling around on the airport floor, which I encourage. It gets their wiggles out before the flight. Eating endless snacks. And of course, there's the dreaded travel sickness issue that can rear its head for some people. If your toddler does suffer from travel sickness, it's always a good idea to bring one of those silicone bibs with the crumb catcher at the bottom. That can also act as a puke catcher. If your toddler has recently been potty trained or you are now in the process of potty training, it's okay for you to take a special travel nappy with you on the flight. Go for one of those pull-up style nappies that are a little bit more like pants and make regular trips to the bathroom even though they have the nappy on. This will help them to stay in the routine as much as possible. You want to explain to your toddler, this is a special nappy for on the flight. With Finn, we put his nappy on just before he started his nap and he kept that nappy on until about an hour before we landed. So 30 minutes before the descent started, we took the nappy off, took him to the toilet, and then he happily sat in his seat for the rest of the flight. Alongside toys and books, I also recommend that if your family allows screen time, that you take a Kindle or an iPad with you. You cannot rely on the screens in the back of the seats working, unfortunately. Sometimes it happens that they're broken. This happened to us on a recent trip to Dubai, and it took the cabin crew 2 hours to change our seats to where there are screens that were working. If we hadn't had Finn's Kindle, I think we might have been in a bit of a difficult situation. So take it with you. It's also useful while you're in the terminal if they don't want to run around, they want to just chill out and listen to music or watch a program. And along the same topic as the screens, I would also recommend that you take toddler headphones. If you have a sensitive child who doesn't like to wear unusual things on their bodies, then having their own headphones is going to be great for you. Also, quite often the airlines are those horrible little earbuds that go inside your ear. Those are not going to work for a little tiny toddler ear, so take their own headphones with them. Oh, that's gone cold. Okay, next. I probably don't need to say this, but make sure that you take your toddler's comfort item or items. So if they have a teddy or a blankie, something like that, make sure you pack those either in your bag or in their bag, somewhere that's accessible. Thank you. Alexa, what are my notifications? Where was I? Somewhere that's easily accessible for meltdowns in progress. You want to be able to get these items quickly to them to help them calm down. And if you have spares, pack them in your suitcase for in the hold as well, just in case. Snacks. Probably the number one way to get out of a sticky situation on a flight, food. Make sure you're packing plenty of snacks in your bag, either bring them with you from home or you can buy them in the departure lounge. Buy more than you think you'll need. If your toddler is eating snacks for the entire flight, that's fine. This is particularly important if you have a picky eater like I do. Bring things from home that you know that they're going to eat. Put a little pack together with a few different things in, so you know that if you get on the flight and there's nothing that your toddler will eat that's offered to you by the airline, you know you have these snacks, because hangry meltdowns in a confined space are not good. Also, make sure you pick up a bottle of water or you fill up your reusable bottle in the departure lounge before you board the plane. Sometimes there's a bit of a delay in boarding, perhaps you missed your slot for takeoff on the ramp, or it just takes a long time for the cabin crew to get to you. Thirsty kids can also be prone to meltdowns, so take a little bottle with you so you know you've always got that to rely on. Same thing for landing. If the airline are giving out those little mini bottles, ask for a few, pack them in your bag so that for the journey from the airport to your destination, you have water with you. One final note for this section: when you board, hopefully with priority, if they don't offer this at the gate, then just ask. Take a few toys, a couple of toys, 2 or 3 will be enough, out of your bag before you pop it in the overhead locker. This is where a new toy really comes in useful. So if you've had a little one squirreled away somewhere, take that out and give it to your toddler. It will keep them occupied in their seat while everybody else is boarding the plane. Okay, next, what not to pack. First of all, I would say don't bother taking your own pens, pencils and paper. You will lose these under the seat and you will have to replace them at your destination or when you come home. Quite a few airlines will offer you like a little pack, a little zippy pack, and there'll be pens and paper and things in there that they can use, and it really doesn't matter if you lose those. If you absolutely must take pens and paper because your kid... Mother-in-law coming to see if I'm okay. If you absolutely must take pens and paper because your kid loves to be arty, I recommend you take one of those big, robust colouring pads with a thick spine that's not going to shed its pages so easily, and just take a bunch of cheap felt tips because you're not going to use them for a long period of time. It really doesn't matter if they dry out. Also, don't take any activity books that have little pieces that you can lose under the seat. Anything with marbles in, tiny little Legos. Anything that you can lose and that will cause your toddler to have a meltdown. You just really don't want to take your best Lego set, and if you lose bits of it, it's ruined. Lego is too expensive for that. And finally in this section, packaging. These days things are packed with so much packaging that it takes up so much space. You just don't have the room for that in your toddler's bag if you want to optimise the amount of things that you can take with you. So take any new toys out of their boxes before you pack them. Keep the boxes at home if your toddler likes to refer to the instructions or look at the box like mine does. Keep them for when you get home, and it's like a double whammy. They come home to brand new boxes to explore. Okay, now for something that parents need to pack with them. And it's not a physical object, it's the correct mindset. This is something that I can struggle with. I get a little hot-headed by nature. I'm very organised, I'm good at planning, visualising problems and coming up with solutions before we go. But when I'm in the thick of it, I'm on a plane, I'm stuck in a small space with my toddler, he starts to have a meltdown, it's very difficult for me to remain calm in that situation. And when you add in the fact that I'm actually scared to fly, I know, a travel vlogger who doesn't like to fly, what a concept. What I found that's really helped me is preparing, and this has really helped me to go into a flight with a better mindset. I'm not perfect. No, I'm not perfect. I had a meltdown alongside Finn during our flight back from our recent trip to New York. I'm not perfect, but these things have helped me a lot, and I know that they're going to help you too. Prepare in advance. Take up a meditation practice. If you've not meditated before, give it a go. I think you might be pretty amazed at the results. Take up a weekly or daily, if you can, meditation practice for calming meditations, deep breathing. Also breath work is another thing that I've worked with extensively, and that's really helped me, and that's what got me out of my meltdown, my recent meltdown on the flight. Look on YouTube for free classes in meditation and breath work. There's no need for you to spend any money on this. It's all there online for free. Staying in the correct mindset is also easier if you're traveling with another adult. So if you're going with your spouse or another family member or a friend, you can always say, you know, I'm feeling a little bit stressed here. Could you take over so I can go for a little walk? I find just getting out of my chair and walking to the back of the plane, breathing a little bit, visualizing myself calming down, takes 5 minutes. And then you're back in the right frame of mind. You can go back to your seat and you can deal with whatever situation has presented itself for a more calm and centered place. Okay, let's tackle the elephant in the room, your child's behavior on the flight. My advice is to lean into tantrums. Expect them, they will happen, and that's okay. The more you fly with your toddler, the more you're going to identify their triggers and their behaviors on a flight. Is their trigger boredom? This is where a well-packed bag with everything that I mentioned above in it is really going to help you. Tiredness? This is Finn's personal favourite and mine. So make sure you get a nap in before you get to the overtired, screaming, flailing, sweating stage, because that's no fun. Hunger? Remember what I said about taking snacks with you. With hangry meltdowns, prevention is better than cure. Multiple toddlers. So if you're flying with your children who are close in age or you have multiples, first of all, good luck. Second of all, everything that I've said already applies. You just multiply it by however many toddlers you have. Definitely do not pack one bag for 2 toddlers. They need to have their own bag with their own toys in it. If they have to share toys on a flight and that's not something they're used to, you're inviting in trouble. So make sure that each toddler has their own bag, which they have a sense of ownership over, sense of responsibility over. And for you, packing the correct mindset is even more important. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching my first toddler travel tips video. I would also love to hear any tips that you have, so please include them in the comments below so I can read them. Also, please like this video, subscribe to my newbie channel and hit the notification bell so you'll see when I make new videos. I'll be back in a few weeks' time with our New York family adventure vlog. You can also find me over on Instagram. I'll pop a link for that below, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.